You ready for this? All right, welcome back to the basement, guys. We're gonna have a really good show today. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Crypto Trucker Phil Carver's giving a shout out to his mom because he loves her. Puin78, Div, Razmataj, Joey Randall, Bubba's Crypto, Evan Coons, Crimson Caravan Company. Hello from the couch. Chemistry Bro, always holding it down from the lab. Kristen, really appreciate you guys being here today. I've already saw some comments on how well DZ did on the morning show. So, hey, actually, perfectly, this mic blocks it. You guys can't see it, but I did spill oatmeal all over my shirt today. So don't make fun of me too much, but we're gonna have a good time. Nick was supposed to be joining us here today, but he's under the weather. He's doing a lot of work and research, getting ready for the night videos because we got to get ahead because of the book tour. We got a lot of content to get out while that's going on. Yep. BJ, unfortunately, if you guys were here yesterday watching, you know he was in a car accident. And what's good? That's Gucci and Americano 7 first time chatters. Biscuit Jesus in the chat. He is with us in spirit and digitally by remoting in and looking at some of the stream. However, he did have to go to the hospital last night, has some lung issues. What are you guys laughing at over there?
I was just looking at some of the chat, man.
Basement is better than the attic. Let's go. Major facts.
I did. I was just noticing I have this white hair. Like this bear market has spurned these white hairs on my chin so bad. It's been
so sperm created white hairs on your chin?
Spurn.
Oh, spurned. Yeah. Okay, much better word choice there.
That's weird. My wife said I had one gray hair last night.
Yeah, well, hey, bear markets will add gray hairs. We know that. Bull markets, I guess. I don't know what you're doing in a bull market. Buy stuff.
That's right.
More new shave crypto, not so much prepper crypto. Let's go basement. So we're gonna be looking at we have a lot of mining stuff to look at today. Like I said, I know Nick's big in the mining stuff. We're gonna be talking a little bit about centralization versus decentralizations. I want to hear your comments from you guys in the chat. Obviously, a lot of the show is about engaging with you guys and just having crypto conversations like we're hanging out at a meetup. So and Big Hands Dan, I did have your tweet pulled, but we talked about you yesterday. Corey said he grew a 4 last year. I mean, I'm gonna Lucifer loves the basement. Can we wheel him in like Hannibal or? No, he's good, guys. He's had basically a collapsed lung. He's got some stuff he's got to do, just kind of rest up, a little sore, but he will be back. He is, like I said, with us in spirit here today, and it's gonna be a good show. Right. So, let's just dive right in. We'll look at coin market. We'll look at coin market cap real quick. Things pretty much holding up slightly from yesterday. Nothing crazy. We're gonna talk. I was talking with Frank this morning. He's gonna be on the show tomorrow, so don't make sure to come back tomorrow. We're gonna talk a lot about CME gaps, what they are, what to expect, how they fill, why they fill. A lot of you guys don't realize CME stands for Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's a specific exchange where a lot of derivatives are being traded. So. We're going to get into that a lot tomorrow, look at the gaps and look at why they fill and why I think we will come back down and touch that gap here pretty soon. So collapsed lung. Yeah, it's not fun. If you've ever had one, it's basically when your lung, if you don't know what a collapsed lung is, your lungs approximately like this, right? And that, when you breathe, it goes open and close, open and close. If you close it too much, it's very sticky and it sticks together. So you have to puff and puff to make it unstick.
We are bullish on BJ's recovery.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Real quick, are you guys doing Drew and Brian? Are you guys doing any accumulating right now over the last month or two?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
absolutely. I've been full ham since we did 17 with Bitcoin, but I picked up some H-bar finally.
Back to the full screen.
Yeah. I went and got me some H-bar finally, added some more DAG to the bag, and I'm thinking about getting some Quant maybe, but other things I'm buying are like Cardano, ICP, filled up my bag with ICP, so I feel good about that. Feel like it's going to move for me a little bit, and
so you're building positions in a lot of altcoins.
Yeah, well, I did when
it's the opposite of me.
I did the Bitcoin thing first.
Okay,
When we hit the 17K, I threw like $2,000 at Bitcoin just to even things out, and then since then I feel comfortable about the Bitcoin holding, so I'm expanding out because I know last time in the last bull run, that's really what made a ton of money is these small altcoin plays, as long as I took profits on the way up, and I took profits on like half of them. And then, there's ones that I hold like Stellar that I bought at 7 cents and is trading at 8 cents now. So that's a major failure in my opinion. So I'm going to be making sure I take some profits on that.
Brian, what about you? You working towards any specific targets?
I mean, I did accumulate some Gala and actually sold it.
Nice.
recently. I sold at 4.5 cents. It's at 5 now, whatever.
But you sold it on the pump.
Yeah, I have to sell
Yeah.
on the pump. So that's the only altcoin that I actually even bought. Otherwise, I'm still only DCAing into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano.
Okay.
And that is just like purely out of, I know that I may miss the bottom on alts, but that's okay because they always lag behind. And I think they're going to end up, they still push really hard. It's like, I'm not going to get into like crazy alts until it's like confirmed bull market again. There's really no point for me to like try to time the exact bottom on that. So that's just my thoughts on it.
No, I agree. We've talked about that a lot. I think that's a great strategy.
Shout out to MVP in the chat.
Yeah.
Said it took me a while to get on this Twitch stream. Used to watching on YouTube.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to Twitch stream. If you guys don't know, obviously we're partnered with Twitch. If you want to watch us live, go to twitch.tv/bitboy_crypto to join us live in the chat. If you're hearing this anywhere else, if you're seeing this anywhere else, obviously we still appreciate it. Smash the like, subscribe, tell your friends. If you're listening on audio, listen up. Perk
Now's
up.
the time to tell all your friends, the gas station attendant, the waitress,
Yes.
everybody. Everybody needs to hear about crypto right now.
Right.
It's
Great.
so easy right now.
Right.
Too, to tell
They're
people.
gonna, if you're getting your friends into crypto now, they're gonna love you in 2 years. If you wait till a year or two from now when they ask you about it and you tell them, oh yeah, it's a great investment, they're gonna buy the top. You're not gonna be able to talk to them for a couple of years, until the cycle repeats. So now's the time if you want to give. I know a lot of people don't, like it's probably hard to part with your crypto at the bottom, but if you want to give a gift to say, if somebody you really care about, give them some Ethereum, give them some Bitcoin, even if it's only $100 or $50 or whatever you feel like you can do. That's the fastest way to get them engaged and get them watching it. So that's what I did with a lot of my friends and family, was giving them Ethereum when it was $100, $150, $200.
I brag about that all the time, actually. So funny story is when like long time ago, I was in the real basement with TJ. We were making crypto content.
Yeah.
Young Dumb Crypto.
Young Dumb Crypto. If you guys want to go see the early days,
The real basement.
Yeah.
I looked him up.
Young Dumb Crypto, what is Bitcoin?
Yeah.
It always makes me laugh.
The early basement days. And TJ was at his computer and we were kind of bummed because crypto has been going down and we're still in this game. We're like, no, crypto's not going away. Like this was the last bear market. We're like, it's fine. Everything is fine. We're just going to keep making content.
This is fine. We were literally
This is
middle.
fine.
This is fine.
And so Christmas is coming though. And then TJ's like, you know what I'm going to do for Christmas? I'm going to give like everyone in my family like an Ethereum. And he just like bought up all this Ethereum at $89. I remember it's like $89, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, that was the absolute bottom, March 12th. But it was
Like, it was close. It was like
it was around 100,
What a
120
move.
bucks maybe.
Yeah, but like I remember you talking about it maybe when it was 80.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't actually buy it until it pumped a little or whatever. But and then he told me, yeah, I gave this person, and then you know what? To this day, I'm like, wow, that Ethereum's worth $1,500. Like that, like that person got a $1,500 gift. And guess what? All those people are hooked on crypto now because they didn't even have to put in their own money in, and they saw what it did, and now they're kicking themselves. It's funny how this whole thing goes in cycles, right?
It does.
Like when the bull market's here, we all shut up, like in a way. We don't want to
you
tell our
should.
friends and family. We're like,
You should.
ooh, maybe, but they're all coming to you. They're like, oh, crypto,
Right.
crypto. What do we do?
And then you reluctantly give them
You're like,
if you must, like, yeah, I remember that.
and
feeling,
now
absolutely.
we're preaching it.
Yeah.
We're preaching it to everybody. And guess what? No one's listening.
Well, it's Casino Doggy brings it up perfect. He tries to explain to his family over Christmas, and they told him to shut up, basically.
Stay poor.
Yeah.
So they can sit. And look,
Those are the same people that are
At
going to
least-
come running in a next
well,
year.
and this is what I was talking about earlier, or a couple episodes ago. When it comes to that kind of stuff, it's much better, experienced than explained. It's much better learned than told. So you can try to tell them about it all you want. Just give them a little bit. It's a lot less effort on your part. And you can say, look, I don't care, take it or leave it, but they're going to watch it obsessively. They're going to watch the price go up and down, especially when they hear it's moving.
Right.
And when they see $100 turn into $500, then they'll be a lot more engaged. And, it's a much easier conversation. They're like, wait a minute. Okay. Tell me about this a little bit more.
TJ, you see how many long lost brothers you've found in the chat, man?
Yo,
You got
TJ,
some-
I'll tell you, I'm your long lost brother. Where's your ETH? Yeah. Sorry, I've only got one brother, and I know exactly who he is and where he lives. So
Yeah. Man, I mean,
Corey too. Yeah, we love you, Corey.
Now's the time to be screaming about it, man. Like, I had an aunt that she listened to me for 5 minutes, and she went and bought like a bunch of Ethereum at $300, and she sold it all, got completely out of debt.
That's awesome.
Completely changed her life. You know what I mean? Got her out of an apartment. And, you know, the rest of my family kind of caught on a few months later. And now I moved to Georgia, so I try to call them as much as I can, but I'm a little busy, so I'm expecting to get some arrows thrown at me when I come back. And I'll come back in 2025, end of 25, and it'll be fine.
Question for Drew from Joseph Cupidor. Drew, last week you guys discussed VPNs. You mentioned you use Nord. I heard they store your history and report to the FBI. I live in Texas and just need it to trade on Binance. What do you suggest?
I suggest not using a VPN. I don't remember saying that. I don't use VPNs.
But he lives in
yeah,
Texas and can't use Binance. I guess he wants to trade on Binance.
Yeah. I mean, just use Binance US, right? Like I only operate.
I don't think that's in Texas either.
No. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a Binance account because of that issue. So I kind of left it alone.
So you're saying he's worried about a VPN provider like Nord keeping your history? Is that what he's referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say the NSA's already got it.
He said, and reporting it to the FBI, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about World Economic Forum and who is there. The one of the interesting attendees is the director of the FBI that is going to be at the World, which. Okay, that doesn't, you got CEO of Amazon, CEO of Netflix, CEO of a lot of these media companies and businesses. Why is the director of the FBI there colluding with these billionaires? Yeah. We're going to get into that a little bit later in the show. There's a lot, I will say there's a lot of different VPNs out there. If you're looking for more secure VPNs, dig down that rabbit hole. I don't know how active this is, but Orchid is actually a blockchain-based VPN.
I remember that project.
Yeah, it's a token. It's on Coinbase. I met the founders of it years and years ago. I'm not necessarily advocating for the token or the token price, but it's you need the token to operate the product. What it will do is it basically will jump from VPN to VPN to VPN, and kind of, if you know how Tor network works or onion routing, it does something like that essentially through a VPN or several different VPNs. And that's about as secure as you can get on a private network. So that, look into it. I think it's ORCHID, Orchid, like that. So
you totally just gave me FOMO, man. I was like, look, I've been looking at that project for a long time. We're in the depths of the bear market. Let's go. I'm going to check this thing out right now.
Why don't you use a VPN?
Because I ain't got nothing to hide. I don't really feel like, I just don't feel like going through the roundabout ways about it. I'm exposed. If your laws are tyrannical, then I'm not going to abide by them. So, I'm just, I don't really feel like hiding. I had the tooth surgery, and like, I kind of felt over the weekend, I kind of was realizing like I am deteriorating. My body's deteriorating. I was too quiet during flu season. I let a lot of people in my my love circle.
I was gonna say, how many people you got in your love life?
Yeah. I mean, like, I just need to be louder because our time is finite here. So,
Preach.
Yeah, I don't really feel like using a VPN or hiding. If your laws are tyrannical, I'll let my congressman know and I'll openly disobey them. So
yeah. Boom. All right, Crimson Caravan Company. That is a good point. He says if you use a VPN on Binance, there are reports of Binance cutting you off different, depending on what VPN you use and depending on how stringent the company wants to be with enforcing the IP laws. They can tell. It doesn't really matter if you're running, especially on mobile. Mobile is where they get you the most. This is probably what he's talking about there, because they can tell your cell phone provider. So it doesn't matter if you're using a VPN service and it looks like you're routing in from, say, Germany. They know, oh, hey, there is no Verizon in Germany. So you are clearly using a VPN, and they'll do it that way.
I do have a suggestion, though. If you want to, get your privacy back, why don't we roll back the Patriot Act? And then you can stop that emergency gathering of your information from the NSA. We can start there and then have this conversation in a more honest manner.
Yeah. And that's the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Riddlewood Pun says, I got nothing to hide is what the libs say when I complain about the government surveilling their own citizens. To Drew's point, that's what the Patriot Act is. Look, we're not as much of a surveillance state as China is, right, but we're not that far away. Where there are cameras, there is surveillance. There are more cameras, New York City, Toronto, London, big cities like that. Massive surveillance. If you don't think they're ingesting all of that data, then you probably haven't watched a spy movie in about 10 years. Exactly.
So if you got a cell phone with apps on it, you're done.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're using a smartphone, they pretty much know everywhere you go TikTok, and everything you do.
You're done.
I just try to keep it real here. We think that we're going to roll back things without doing away with that emergency act. God, I'm going to buy some Orchid now. Thank you so much for reminding me about this project.
Nice guys too. They've been in the space a long time. Very tech savvy. Very smart individuals. Again, token, like it's a niche of a niche of a niche product. So I wouldn't expect a massive run up in the token price. However, it's an interesting project to me. And
That
that's
niche-
something between the use case and speculation we talk about a lot on this show.
Right.
The coins that pump the hardest and have the biggest returns are not necessarily the projects that are the best, if that makes sense, have the best tech. There's plenty of great projects with great tech that the price doesn't move a lot. We talk about privacy coins is one of those niche examples. I think it's great for everybody to protect and preserve their privacy. I think it's good for everybody to have a, say, bug out bag of a privacy token. But I think of privacy coins very similarly as I think of like stockpiling food for something major to happen, or, you know, prepping really. Like if there's going to be a specific group of people that are able to use that, and it will only really expand to that level, and it's not ever going to hit, you know, everybody's not going to be using XMR or Zcash or R or any of those kind of things, Pirate Chain. So those are some of the good,
But they have a focus.
They
They
do.
have a reason.
they have a, yes, and they will
you know?
exist. They will continue to exist.
Right.
And as long as you're using it for what it's created for, that should be all that matters. And you're not really using it for price speculation, if that makes sense. So BJ continues to work even when he should be resting. Plus
know.
100 from Big Handstand. That is correct.
know.
We have, so, I mean, you guys know our core values here, IWAC. Work ethic is one of the strongest ones. We have some of the hardest working people in crypto. I was just on a call today with somebody like, how in the world do you guys do as much content as you do? I don't really understand how it's even possible. You know, we work really hard, and everybody from top to bottom, they crush it here. So shout out to the Bit Squad, and the whole Hit Network team. Because
Shout out
Boom.
to 140 people in the chat.
I know.
go.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us on
so
Twitch.
hard. You know, let's grow this thing, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Chemistry Bro says, I'm looking for more projects, but don't want to buy anything on this pump. Pullback is inevitable, even if it's after another pump back to the 20K range. I agree completely. I have not. I was purchasing before the pump. Actually, I was rolling in pretty hard, and then I've got dry powder sitting on the sideline that I'm waiting for a little bit of a pullback. I think I want to say the CME gap's around 19.6, 19.5. Okay. So I'm hoping, and if we go back and touch that, it will probably be very brief. There will probably be a lot of people like me rushing in at that point. So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. It's kind of like what to expect when it comes to
And
Bitcoin
when it
price.
does, you better be riding around town like Paul Revere. I'm telling you, because people are going to need to hear. I feel like the train's getting ready to leave the station in the next few months.
I agree. Crypto Rex talking about the CME gap at 28K. We talked about that a little bit on the morning stream today. That could, people talking about that acting like a magnet to fill, which it will inevitably fill. When we're going up, that gap, it's in almost 100% that it will fill, in my opinion. Assuming you think we could ever get above 30K. That being said, it's a lot more likely to fill the 19.61 first. Get that out of the way, and then it's clear we can start making our way back up to 28.
I can think of a scenario where it doesn't hit 28K, and that's when the internet doesn't work and you're in civil unrest. So you might want to have other things besides.
And some people might think that's coming sooner rather than later. You know,
yeah, there's a couple
I don't,
indicators,
but some
out
people
there.
do.
There's it. The information age, we get all the information from every corner. Everyone's got a cell phone. Everything's videotaped. So I think that the issues that we see on media are compounded because of the communication increase. But yeah, I don't think that we're going into like full civil unrest or anything. Yeah.
See, I see. Riddled with Puns making little jokes over there. Is the bull run coming by land or by sea? I need to know how many lanterns I need. It's not a pun, but we'll take your history joke.
Quasar Lit said, how many people's working in the Bit Squad? I think it's like 40, 30.
In the Hit Network team in general, yeah, around approximately 30-ish, doing a lot of different things. Any date for book meetup in Atlanta, TJ? No, we have not locked in the date for that yet. I think there's a date range maybe, but no location locked in just yet. We're trying to decide where we're going to. We might do it here. I think it'd be fun if we did it here.
We should.
We should do it here. We got the
Come on,
space.
Yeah, just don't tell the fire department. Shh.
We could throw a barbecue.
We could.
All right, let's look at some stories here. We're going to talk a little bit of crypto mining. Speaking of things bouncing back, crypto mining stocks surged to yearly highs after Bitcoin bounces back. The Bitcoin price rebounded to a multi-month high, has also positively affected mining stocks. Many crypto mining stocks recorded their best monthly performance in a year. The surge in mining stocks has also relieved the troubled miners who had to sell a significant chunk of their mined coins to boost liquidity in 2022. So you guys know we talked a lot probably a month or so ago on this channel about miner capitulation, about the true market or the real market value of mining Bitcoin, and how that oftentimes sets the floor for the bottom. You won't see us, like, if the average price to create a Bitcoin or to mine a Bitcoin across all energy, aggregated is approximately between 16 and 17,000. That creates an extremely strong floor, which we don't typically go much below during the capitulation in the kind of depths of the bear market.
Right.
We did go through and test that, and now we're seeing strong recovery there. Like, obviously, through all the different insolvencies and some of those types of things, that's what causes that pressure to go down. They have to sell some of their reserves to keep up, etc. Awesome. You got MVP Crypto says, you got my catching up to crypto yesterday. Yeah, we're hearing reports everywhere of those coming in. Let us know. Leave a review. We're hearing really positive things so far. Crimson Caravan Company, y'all hiring. I'm really good at mopping floors. We are not, unfortunately, hiring at this time, but we do prefer whenever we do to get people from the community. Because we've learned the people from the community are some of the best. Drew was one of the original Bit Squad members there. AJ that you see on here a lot was a Bit Squad member. DZ, BJ, they all came out
Frankie?
of Frank. Almost everybody here long term. Not everybody. A lot. I'd say over half of our people did come from the Bit Squad community. So shout out to you guys. Yes, Core Scientific jumped pretty good. We'll look at that. In 2021, bull market saw a significant increase in borrowing by the Bitcoin mining industry, and this is important. We're talking about basically they were this is something you see in the traditional space a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if they're new companies, they're borrowing, aka leveraging their assets to try to scale quickly. And when you're leveraged and things turn quickly, that's when you can get caught with your pants down. That's what we saw very time and time again, domino after domino falling in 2022. It's what created probably one of the more intense bear markets we've had to experience. I'm sure they all have different kind of themes and feelings to them. Obviously, 2022 was the year of insolvencies. We saw that much greater numbers than we've ever seen before, largely because the insane amount of borrowing and leveraging these traditional companies were trying to do, or even they're Bitcoin companies, but they've got leaders that come from the traditional world at this point. And we're going to talk, there is some of that with nation states coming. There's a tweet we're going to get into a little bit later to think about, like, okay, if this is how the TradFi market comes and gets involved and then gets wrecked. Imagine when we've got nation states that are new to these cycles and getting wrecked. They're going to probably be getting in now. Likely going to be some dramatic fireworks in 24 and 25. I'm waiting for the position to oil Frankie's calves. Bubba's Crypto. Get in line there, buddy. There's a lot of people waiting to oil down Frankie. So,
I live with him. So.
Maybe show up on the cruise. You might have a shot. So
That's right.
I clicked the wrong button there. So let me finish reading.
I feel the same, Crypto Thorn. This rally is bothersome to me too. I wasn't done stacking.
I know, right?
Yeah, but we'll get
Never seen so many people mad at this
at the
pump.
price going up.
Yeah.
Don't FOMO, guys. There's going to be time. Like there might not be more time under 20 or under 17 for sure. But you will have a lot of time in this range, anywhere, 20,000, 23, 24, 25. Those are all good prices to be buying Bitcoin, in my opinion. So, borrowing the Bitcoin mining industry, which had a negative effect on their financial standing during the ensuing bear market. Obviously, public Bitcoin miners owe more than $4 billion in liabilities, while the top 10 Bitcoin mining debtors collectively owe nearly $2.6 billion by the end of 2022. So if you look here, this was an interesting thing. Public miners, now again, there's a lot of private miners out there. So, but these are just publicly traded companies. So all their books are open. Core Scientific being one of the main ones that we know kind of was in the crosshairs. They were running through insolvency issues. I believe we noticed BlackRock moved in heavy on them. They kind of acquired the majority share. They're, basically they're coming in and really, taking advantage of some of these distressed companies and building their position. Marathon is the other stock a lot of people hear about. Obviously much, much greater, and these are in the millions, guys. So it's 13.3, basically a little over $100 million there.
Marathon is financially, they came out okay, right?
That's over $1 billion, right? 1.3331 million is 1.3 billion, basically.
Yeah.
851 million. 218 million, and it starts going, it falls off pretty dramatically after these two, which Argo, BitNile, Stronghold, Bitfarms, they don't have CleanSpark on here. I guess they don't have a lot of liabilities, but
But Marathon came out looking pretty good on their financials. I think it was like a week ago. They came out with kind of a clean bill of financial health. which was really nice to see because they're the second biggest one out there. So
Yeah,
that was
well,
pretty
and
cool.
that's part of what pushed the surge. The BTC price, the BCT price surge in January has helped the struggling crypto mining stocks reach new yearly highs, but also helped Bitcoin-based exchange-traded funds outperform most of the traditional equity ETF market. So basically, one quick move for Bitcoin, and it's looking great again. Another darling. It moves very quickly and easily. So it's just amazing how fast the narrative will change when it comes to assessing Bitcoin mining, and all those sorts of things. Question: what coins do you guys feel are too high to be accumulating right now? CryptoThorn. Interesting question.
That's a tough question right now. I don't know. Quant. I wanted Quant at $100, and it's at like 130 or something now. I missed out on Quant, but it'll probably come back down. I'm feeling like. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to try to catch that Taparoonie. I don't think I'm going to try to chase that one. I don't do meme coins or anything like that. So honestly, yeah, I mean, FTT, an obvious choice. I'm not buying Solana. I'll trade you
Solana's
some
another one I
eggs
was
for
looking at.
Solana,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to buy any with my
It's not as much, I don't think, about the price. I mean, you can decide you're going to have to do a lot of analysis for you to decide what you think is fair value for a project and if it's oversold or undersold.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously things that have strong pumps, like Brian, like you said, selling on the Gala pump, that makes sense. Something pumps 100%. You probably don't want to be entering right there. You want to be waiting for a pullback.
200.
Aptos, another interesting
yeah,
one.
because they got that VC immediate pump.
Yeah, and then
right?
people
I say
are looking
mostly
into
it's
it.
alts for sure.
Yeah, altcoins. And that's why I say you got to be careful when Bitcoin pulls back, because altcoins can pull back more. People are saying Matic and OP. That's a tough one. If you really believe layer 2s are going to be strong next year, I don't know. Maybe they could be accurately priced. I'm not sure. That's a tough one. I think I don't mind accumulating any of those in some of these ranges, but yeah, they've obviously been strong movers here recently.
Yeah, I would
Enzo
think
Mining
it's
asked-
probably overpriced.
Which one?
Enzo Mining.
Matic.
Oh,
Matic.
Matic.
What?
Yeah, I like Matic.
Enzo Mining asked, when is a good time to stop a daily DCA?
Again, that's
Never
yeah.
top of the bull market.
Yeah, I mean, that's your own personal preference. It depends on what your strategies are.
Yeah.
I like to keep it rolling all the way through the bear market. Like I said, basically this entire year, and then you look to sell, and there's really no downside for the most part to doing it even on the way up. So if you're doing it even through most of 2024, and then you just dump it all in late 24, 25,
You
or
sell near the top, at the top, and after the top. Hopefully.
If you find me on Twitter, you'll see me trolling everyone waiting for confirmation above $30,000 Bitcoin before moving into their bags. I told them I'm waiting for 50K before I move anything. Just
before you
sarcastically.
sell.
No, before I start buying, sarcastically, because I'm going to be buying all year. I'm going to be buying until probably into 24, the front end of 24. Just following the basic Bitcoin halving cycle. It seems pretty normal to me.
Okay, here's a question for you guys. At what number, when Bitcoin hits this number, people are like, oh, yeah, it's definitely going to go to 100K this time. And then that's when people kind of FOMO when they at least know they're going to double their money or triple their money. What's the number where people be like, okay, Bitcoin is not going away? Like retail people.
Retail, not big, not like investors.
When it
Not
goes
investors.
past-
Investors are already in it. Big money is already in this. They know it's not going away anywhere.
I don't think it's a dollar amount. I think that when they start to see the actuality of what the White House is calling for in the executive order and methane gas capture, the balance of power grid systems, and then on top of it, nation states moving into cryptocurrency,
You would hope they would see all those things.
Yeah.
But I would say
I
when
still think
it reaches
yeah.
all-time highs again.
All time. Yeah, that's what traditionally, that's traditional logic is when retail, once it breaks 69K, everyone's like, oh, it's definitely going to 100K this time. And that's when we'll see, again, retail pile in. The timing of when that happens, I think, has a lot to do with it. But yeah, you see retail generally come back when it retouches all-time highs.
You think it has to break it? I feel like
Doesn't have to.
I feel like if it hits 40K,
I would say
it's almost off to the
50.
races. So I think it'll stay below that for a long time because for accumulation zones for people with money. So, but I don't know. That's just
No,
random.
that's not bad. I think we will get rejected on 40K, and I don't think that will get enough people's attention. Next halving comes, we hit all-time high, a few months after the halving, 6 months after the halving, something like that. I'd have to go check the math on that. And then at that point, that's when the mainstream media is going to be saying, oh, all-time highs, Bitcoin's back, Bitcoin's not dead. And it really, Unfortunately, so many people still listen to mainstream media. I know you guys in the basement way smarter than that, but
Pew78 said when they see their family members in Bitcoin live a better life.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that is a big factor. We got 55K, 65K, 85K, and I think it's probably around 60K. You know, give or take 10K in either direction.
When it reclaims that previous all-time high, the lights are still on.
Yeah.
Things are still moving forward.
Go
Did
ahead.
you see Benzinga is still on gas station TVs? I just realized it, but Benzinga has been staying involved with the media on crypto at gas station TVs through this entire bear market. So good
Interesting.
on you. You know what I mean?
That's
I just wanted
awesome.
to say. Good little highlight there.
Real quick, Manuel Hagister got recently in AI coins, got 2 times my money back. What are you guys thinking about AI coins? I have an answer, but I'll let anybody else go first.
I need more. I need a lot more.
So you're FOMOing into AI
well,
coins.
like, yeah, that's probably going to be my next, like Fetch. I think I'm going to go after Fetch for sure when we get a pullback, but haven't really looked in. Like, are you keeping an eye out on any of them?
I have not. I've seen a lot of them on social media and stuff lately, but I have not dived down the AI coin rabbit hole yet.
Yeah, I would say this. I do think it's going to be a hyped up category for this next cycle. I don't think this is speculation versus reality, obviously. I think people were going to speculate on it a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed people in a few years to come. So I think you can make a lot of money on AI tokens, but don't think they're actually going to do what you think they're going to do. I was telling them right before we went live, I literally saw, and if you guys know me and you know my deep brain chain story, that's an AI coin. It actually is pumping right now. I think it's up 60% on the week because I think a lot of people went in and they just started searching AI projects. Yeah, so let's look at the month here. Yeah, look at that month for deep brain chain. Not a bad month. But let's look at the all-time. It's not great. It's not great. So
Point out to us on the chart where you bought it, TJ.
here we go. Back here, probably right about
Oh my God.
there.
And, you know, the
I don't know if you guys can see it. And then it's like, oh, it went all, and then probably about right here.
Yep.
And then probably here, and then probably here, and then probably here. Let's see, 2018, then probably here, then probably here. Then somewhere in here is when I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to just cut my losses and move on this one. It's one of my worst losses of all time. Would still be, even with the 70% pump, one of our worst losses, my worst losses of all time. So I don't know if this is an active project at all, or if literally people were just blindly buying AI projects. Concept is great. Like I said, it's an incredible idea. Basically a blockchain where all of the machine learning is on one chain. You can build decentralized AI applications on top of it without having to train the computer. If you think taking the data models from, basically it's kind of like the concept of OpenAI. Once you have a very well-trained machine, you can launch different applications like a chat application, like a image application, etc. And the number one cost is training the machine. And once that's done and you can launch applications with a bank of the memory, it would be very, very powerful. And it also keeps it open and decentralized, so not one entity like OpenAI or, you know, what's the Google's Deep Brain something or other. That way, which I think is what Deep Brain Chain's named after. Yeah. It prevents one entity from having the most trained AI out there. So, you know, great concept, great theory.
Maybe
never happened.
Yeah, maybe a decade early.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And if it pumps now in this next market, I'm not going to be happy, guys. So.
Yeah, Riddle with Pun says, I think AI coins are going to be the bull run's metaverse coins, all hype, no use case. I completely agree. I think there's going to be a lot of hype behind this, but here's the problem with that. They're still going to pump.
That's right.
So you're still going to be able to make money on some of this stuff, but then you're going to see some of the hardest crashes on this project. You know, kind of like we've seen with some of the metaverse stuff too. So
when they do pump, I'm sure that all over YouTube, there's going to be videos about singularity being achieved.
Yeah,
and
that was
all
another
these
one.
interconnectivity is here, and all of the robot dogs know what your thoughts are now.
Dang.
It's not here yet. It's going to be here eventually. But.
Just in, Watcher Guru, Microsoft to fire 11,000 employees.
Oh yeah, I can only get so erect.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
that's good for the economy, guys. We need unemployment rate to go up so our bags can pump. But it's sad for those 11,000 people. We're sorry, but
Tiny violin for you throttling my information over the last 4 years. You know, can you hear it? I can't either.
ironically, Microsoft, one of the major owners of OpenAI, maybe they realize they can do a lot of the same actions with a lot less people.
Oh, and a lot less matcha lattes in the morning.
Yeah.
Question from Crypto Tony. I use
Oh, yeah.
CoinMarketCap to log my buys to get my DCA per coin. Let's say you take 1,000 from one coin and buy another. How do you calculate the DCA when you are buying other coins with profits and not money out of pocket?
How do you're talking about not how do you calculate your DCA, how do you calculate your overall returns probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, you calculate like where you bought it, how much you sold,
Yeah.
and then, it's kind of
Yeah.
a lot of manual math. I don't really do that.
I was just say a lot of us are a little more degen than that. You can build a very complex spreadsheet. I'm sure Decker would love to give you tutorials on all the different
Yeah.
formulas you could use.
Yeah.
But you can, track your buys and sells. All your spitting chicken salad over here. You can track all of your entries and exits, obviously. And
You'd have to correlate it all back to something stable or steady,
Yeah.
whether that's Bitcoin
Right.
or US dollar. So,
Yeah.
and then you could base your percentage gain off of whatever asset you want to, direct all those things back to.
Yeah.
You pick that. It's up to you to decide. A lot of people use US dollar because
it's easier for accounting
It's
purposes.
easier.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I was like, what's my percentage of Bitcoin gain over X amount by buying all these different coins and altcoins with this asset, then you could do it that way too.
Yeah.
Chemistry Bro says just take the average coin buy price as your average buy. I measure how much I put in overall and how much is coming out. Yeah, exactly. So you come up with your blended entry price and then your take profit price. That's an easy way to do it too. But when you're jumping from different current, you got to obviously calculate whenever you exit. That's when a coin. That's when you're calculating the gains or losses.
Corey Harden also had chicken salad for lunch.
Let's go,
Hashtag 20.
Corey.
Crazies.
Chicken salad bros.
I can't wait to eat again. I am so mad. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
eat
Oh,
right
Drew,
now.
another very hard worker here. Day after oral surgery, they were literally looking at his skull through his mouth yesterday, and here he is, gauze in his mouth.
Oh my gosh.
bringing the
Your
truth just
skull?
for you guys.
What?
You haven't eaten, Drew?
No, I haven't eaten in a few days, and they had to sand my this deal right there. So
Dude.
I feel great. It's an itch I wanted to scratch for years. I went through a vasectomy without anesthesia, so that was a cakewalk in comparison. So sorry to bring it up.
Why did you
Nah.
do that?
Really?
I was tired of having kids, man.
Did you do
Did
this?
you just like, no, I'll pass. I want to save a little bit extra money to throw it into Bitcoin. I'll pass on the
I
anesthesia.
paid for it. It didn't work by the time they got, and I just keep going. Just
Did you
shut
do
up.
this without anesthesia?
No, I had anesthesia.
okay,
Little
okay.
shots for this one. Absolutely.
Okay,
Good
gotcha.
grief.
It was no big deal. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been holding off. I could have easily bought this with my crypto money. I'm just super greedy about my crypto bags. Just bought a house, had to buy a car. I'm a little bit stubborn. And that was my answer for your taking profits or calculating profits. I want to have my house paid off and the vehicles, and then I don't really calculate it other than that. So
That sucks. I can't believe that didn't work. Riddle would punch us because he already has like 5 kids. TJ, he's like, yeah, he has 4. Crypto Thorn wants to know: are you on any drugs right now?
no, I'm not on any. Everyone
Look at
thinks
He's just
I'm
hangry.
drunk.
He's just hangry.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm just like more short-tempered now because I realize that I'm running out of jelly beans to spend in this life, and I've let a lot of conversations happen in front of me that were complete bullshit that I didn't call out and say, no, you're fucking wrong. So
Yeah.
here I am, and yeah. I ain't
Drew's
got all the
fired
time
up.
in the
Drew's
world.
feeling like he's ready to, spread his knowledge with the world. Maybe he's not spreading his seed, but he's spreading his knowledge.
Yeah, and I started going live on. Just to spit my deeper thoughts.
The
in
truth.
middle of
He's
the
sharing the truth. Late night crypto prepper. Check him out on YouTube. I might be the only live viewer right now, but
It's true.
late at night I'm watching.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
watching. So.
We love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Go
To
ahead.
throw you
Oh.
on Hit Network.
Another
Sorry, Miss
question from Battletoads93.
Great name.
Are y'all in any other investment like stocks?
Not anymore.
Stocks are boring.
Drew
AF.
does gold.
Yeah.
I would call that an investment.
It's more like a stable coin that I move asset like gains into, though. I don't really like, I'm not a huge fan of gold in comparison to how much money is going to be made in crypto and then AI and then, biotech will be here in 2030 when they're selling safety to people through the medical connection of their biomechanical systems plugged into blockchain. So I'm going to be buying that stuff when it comes. But for now, I'm just doing crypto.
And real gold, not gold stocks, correct?
No, yeah, absolutely not. I don't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole. No.
Chemistry Bro said he's buying some of that Apex protocol we mentioned, TJ. I again, it's a speculation. It's on. I think decentralized exchanges are going to be a trend in the next cycle, just because of the pain that we experienced with centralized exchanges this year. So Yeah, Apex Exchange is something I'm looking at. The link is going to be in the description pretty much anywhere you look. So check it out. It's not a bad project.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to go mining? We want to talk about how centralized Bitcoin is? Or do we want to talk about the World Economic Forum?
Well, let's check it out. Let's check it out. We can't ignore this.
Yeah. So this is something when you hear Bitcoin, and this is why we talk about this a lot. That decentralization is a continuum. It's not either or. It's not either you're decentralized or you're not. You're going to be somewhere on the pendulum of more or less decentralized.
Yeah.
I think Bitcoin is one of the most decentralized. I think Ethereum is also pretty decentralized. Cardano, very decentralized. And it's all trade-offs. The more decentralized you are, the slower things are going to move. At first until you hit a certain scale, and then centralization. Obviously, gaming protocols, things that move quickly, low fees. Solana, 100% centralized. Obviously, they can turn it off whenever they want. I saw. Maybe I should pull this up. The transform. Yeah, Nick just poked it. He's watching you. He's listening. This was all for Nick. I wanted to have a heated debate with Nick. Unfortunately, he's a little under the weather today. We might revisit in a future show.
Another hard worker.
Yeah, Nick crushing it. Always works hard here. Love Nick. Lead research, lead content developer here at Hit Network, BitBoy Crypto. So couldn't do it without him. But hey, Bitcoiners, the situation is only getting more centralized. There's some nuance to this, and we will get into that. Two companies now controlled 56.4% of all block production. Yeah. We know Antpool is a big one. We know Foundry USA. Why is it not? It's not showing the whole image here. Foundry USA, Antpool at almost 20%. And then I don't know who this is over here at 11%. The next one hits it. Breaking the majority of Bitcoin block production currently controlled by two entities. Out of the last 1,000 BTC blocks, 501 have been built by Antpool and Foundry USA. We've also got this one here. Bitcoin Network is controlled, 70% controlled by three miners, and this one probably has, Foundry, Antpool, and F2 Pool. We got Binance, and then a lot of the other ones coming in much lower. So now this is mining pools, not specifically, not saying that these pools control all the miners in them.
Right.
However, if you've ever mined Bitcoin before, as an individual miner working on your own, you'll never the odds of you ever solving a block is exceptionally low. It has happened, but it's extremely rare and it's very random. So almost all mining that happens is through mining pools. And so the nuance to so what Bitcoiners like to talk about is how centralized Ethereum is. And, there's only so, now that it's gone to proof of stake, you can have only so many delegators, only so many stakers. It's going to be, we know Lido and Coinbase are doing a lot of the staking right now, and then it filters down to a lot of the other people. What they don't like to talk about is those are essentially pools. People could move their coins in and out of those things fairly easily if something started happening that they didn't like filtered blocks.
Yeah.
Same is true for this with Bitcoin. That is going to be their defense when you say, only three pools control 70% of the mining. That's not centralization, which I think is a pretty strong argument. Their rebuttal would be, these are just Bitcoin mining pools. Any individual miner could switch pools at any point if they're not happy with the way the pools are doing the production of the blocks, if they start filtering blocks for OFAC compliance and some of those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, Drew?
Yeah, man, this is on the legislative
it's very nuanced,
side.
guys. This is a little, if you're new to crypto, I would not even really get deep into this discussion, but if you care about long-term freedom and decentralization, you want to understand these nuances.
The OFAC abilities that they were able to flex on Ethereum were a definite warning sign to me. That you were able to censor people in Iran, as Eric Voorhees pointed out. When they got stuck in that conversation, they're trying to talk about the proof of stake system. And I own Ethereum. I believe in Ethereum. It's made me great money. Mm-hmm. But, we as a people need to control OFAC. We need to control these alphabet soup organizations that are throwing around these ideas, just like the ATF and them scooting around Congress. Congress is the one that gets to do that, not the alphabet soup boys. So we as a people need to remember that these organizations actually work for us, and no, we're not okay with OFAC. You have to go after the actual organization that's looking to censor these things, because then after OFAC did that, then Gary Gensler is able to be like, hey, we got 51% of the miner or all the operations, 51% in America, we can control it. So we as people need to call these legislators, write them, make ourselves heard. We are not just this fringe minority. I mean, yeah, we're a fringe minority, but this is going to be mainstream in 10 years. So we need to let them know that we see them. We know what you're trying to do. And this blatant overstep of power needs to stop now.
I agree. Drew for Speaker of the House. Let's go. Well, so we know here's the caveat I'd give to that, and the difference. One main difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. The other big point of centralization, I think a lot of people attack, are Blockstream being the main, basically funding the develop. I mean, indirectly, you could say it's all volunteer work, but they're paying salaries for pretty much all the Bitcoin developers. You could say they do work for Blockstream. Similarly, Consensus with Ethereum, we know now JP Morgan owns part of Consensus. They're very heavily involved. They had a big, until JP Morgan was involved, I think they were a big part of the OFAC compliant block filtering. But what did we see as soon as that started happening? We started to see miners migrating different directions. We started to see obviously everybody on the Ethereum network was not a fan of the OFAC compliant blocks. And you've watched that as soon as it started happening, it's decreased since then rather than increased. It's definitely peaked. So, decentralization is important. Big money doesn't like it. The establishment doesn't like it. The people that rule the world, essentially, whether you believe it's, a group of individuals, countries, nations, governments, whatever, the traditional status wealth needs control. They do not like things to be decentralized because that means no control for them. And we're about to talk about that here in just a second with the World Economic Forum. Because there's some interesting stuff going on there.
Drew, what's your channel?
Prepper Crypto 556 on YouTube, or Prepper Crypto, or Drew Weidert on Twitter. Pretty simple to find me. I got a Bitcoin shaved into my skull. I'm the only one on the internet with a Bitcoin shaved onto his skull.
BJ says Drew's not a good enough stock trader to be Speaker of the House. Well, but he's a good enough crypto trader, and that might be what matters in the future,
Yeah. Did you guys see that Greta got arrested today again?
What?
I saw people talking about that.
Yeah, it's lit.
I don't know. I didn't know who that person existed until about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I didn't until like 3 weeks ago.
Dude, I was in there making remakes. When she came out with that speech at what was it, UN? She was like, "How dare you for using your vehicle or whatever." So she's pretty psychotic.
Yeah, one thing I love about TJ is that he didn't know Greta existed.
I don't do politics, guys. It's a waste of time.
We want to know what the 556 stands for.
That's the caliper of my favorite unit.
Boomski.
So,
I had a feeling it was a gun related thing or a patrol or a platoon related thing. Where did it go? Somebody said, I missed you guys Friday. I was in a tree stand. Actually, I was in a duck blind on Friday, so I missed you guys too. So we were all hunting on Friday.
I can't wait to go hunting again.
And subscribe, says Razmataz. Great. Smash the like, subscribe, notification bell, all the different stuff.
Right.
If you're here on Twitch, follow, subscribe, do all that. If you're on audio, leave us a review. Tell your friends, tell your grandma or your mom. All right. World Economic Forum. For those of you who don't know, the World Economic Forum is something that they do. It's happening right now, January 16th through the 20th. It's where basically billionaires from all around the world meet with company leaders and policy creators, politicians to, in their own words, shape the economic future of the world. So this is happening right now. I was cracking up last night looking at some of the media coverage of this. This was interesting. Some notable missing players. We know Klaus Schwab was the creator of the World Economic Forum. If you guys don't know what it is, they're basically the devil. If you want to learn more about it, go check out BitBoy Crypto. Search Great Reset, and there's a whole series there. They've come out with a whole in 2020. They're pivoting away from that verbiage now because they've gotten just totally destroyed. I don't know.
Failed.
Yeah, they're very out of touch, in case you can't tell, with reality and with how people are going to respond to their agenda, but it's basically to control your entire life. They wrote it down in an entire blog post, which has since been deleted. But yeah, you can go through, watch that series. I think it's a 5-part series. There's also one about how money's created. It might start there. So go search the Great Reset, or even there's a special World Economic Forum all on the BitBoy Crypto YouTube page. So you can kind of see our thoughts on them. But interestingly enough, Mr. Good old George, one of the names that really is not ideal to say on YouTube. Him and Klaus Schwab are notably missing from the Davos forum this year, which is just, they're playing hooky at their own party. Yeah, something is brewing is what this person said. And I tend to agree with this sentiment here. Too many eyeballs on the event, maybe. They have always been very public with these events, but now everyone knows, not just the curious. Maybe let people think this is the main event while the real event is more exclusive. I tend
would make
to
sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Oh, apparently Gates pulled out also.
He did.
Oh, Bill Gates out.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's another one that's been there year after year
Yeah.
after year. So like I said, the list of attendees is pretty interesting. FBI director, it's again why. Oh, here we go. I already pulled. Look at me. Look at me.
You're on it.
List of World Economic Forum attendees includes FBI Director Chris Wray. That one's very bizarre. That one says,
Why are you there?
Yeah.
Like, what is the purpose of an FBI director of the United States in particular doing at a World Economic Forum where global policies? I mean,
surveillance.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Who do you think has the most information on the citizens around the world?
Right.
It's the tech companies. So he wants to lobby and create deals with them to get all that information so that they can, federally bureautize you.
Yep.
Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla. All of these people. These are the people that did pandemic planning in 2019 at some of these events. Now we know they're planning not planning.
They are
planning's not what would they say? They are simulating and theorizing what could possibly happen if we had a major cyber attack across the entire globe. So put that on your calendar for the next 3 to 4 years.
Go check out the website and then check out who's actually operating the Cyber Polygon. Cyber Polygon is basically a practice of hacking the entire internet infrastructure of the world all at once. And Russia is given the keys to the castle to go practice how to hack everything all at once through the World Economic Forum. So that's really good timing with everything going on over there, right?
Carnivore 2222 says CBDC greater than FBI. Yeah, I think they're going to be kind of intertwined there. Razzmatazz says all the bad guys are there. Duh. That's another one. Typically, there is U.S. presidents do tend to be there. World leaders, politicians. That's another notable missing one right now. So I do tend to think they're getting a more low-profile event that happens. They do these events from time to time. You can look throughout history. There's a lot of them.
How often are they?
They do the World Economic Forums
once
every
a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're using Epstein Island. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
Yeah. Name Mr. Wilkes said, I did mention this last week, but my bank in the UK will no longer allow me to use debit card to buy crypto. Approximately 50% of UK banks will not allow you to buy crypto. I can understand the bank stopping customers from buying with a credit card, but a debit card is my own money. Well, that's what they want you to think. If it's in the bank, it's not your money. It's their money. And you signed a contract that says, I give you an unsecured loan on my money and you will give it back to me at these rates if you see fit, and you can break this contract. And that's what happens a lot. Go try to withdraw. If you have a lot of money in the bank, go try to withdraw it all at once. They will tell you, no, it's our money and we'll give it to you at this rate.
You know what pissed me off the other day? This is totally a tangent, sorry.
No, you're
but
good.
I
That's what
deposited
it's for in the
a
basement.
ton of cash in the bank and they charged me money. They charged me $112 fee
To
for
deposit
depositing
cash?
So I can't deposit cash without paying fees. And then if I try to take out $5,000, I have to set up an appointment. It's a joke. I hate banks. Sorry, tangent.
I've never heard it. Like what bank? Like a
Bank of America.
I've never heard of that.
Because I deposit
That's
cash
really
and they don't
weird.
want to hold cash in the bank. So they have to now send this somewhere else. They can't hold that much of it. It becomes a liability. So you can't even imagine going to give $1 million. I mean, it was like 50K or something like that. But still, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's insane.
Banks have no money, guys. If you don't know this,
They
your
don't want money
Yeah.
and you're in their bank. And so they charge you a fee so that you don't bring them cash. They only want digital representation.
Yep. It's tokenized. They're going to tokenize everything. Larry Fink said it this week. They're going to tokenize bonds and stocks and all that stuff.
They're gonna, CBDCs, programmable money. That is the future. It's coming. They can see a bazillion advantages. They can control your spending. They can control all sorts of things once they have a CBDC. We already know they're already putting in plans for an expiration date on your CBDC. So you have X amount of money. We know they want you to spend because they're big on Keynesian economics, and spending in the economy equals growth. Go study Keynesian versus Austrian economics. I land on the Austrian side of things. It's been proven throughout history, time and time again. Keynesian economics does not work. It fails. What do they do when it fails? They just change the textbooks. Literally, no joke. That's what happens. They just, let's actually get rid of all of those examples where, like, the debate was settled twice back in the 70s and I think again in the 80s. Or maybe it was 60s and 80s. I can't remember. Where it's like, hey, let's try these two theories. At one point, it was like maybe an interesting theory because it was new. They tried it. It failed. but it worked really well for them in the failure. So it's like, you know
Right.
what? Let's keep this going. Let's keep this Ponzi going. Keep everybody spending, make more fake money, more rehypothecation of wealth, and it'll just slowly all flow into our pockets. And here we are.
TJ, how did you feel about Janet Yellen selling? Janet Yellen was saying that there's an actual debt ceiling that we're going to run into magically and then default as a country. Like,
No, they're not going to raise it. They've always raised it. They
Yeah.
never. There is no. Like, what do we owe Mars? Who do we owe this money to? Like, the whole planet's in debt, and nobody can call it in. We were talking about this on the live stream the other day. Like, I remember literally having this conversation as probably an 8-year-old with my dad.
Yeah.
When he's trying to explain the economy to me, world economy, global economy, and he says, "Oh, well, we owe all this money over here. United States, we're in all this debt," and it's like, but don't worry, everybody else in the world owes us more than we owe them. And I'm like, well, why don't we just call in those loans so we can pay off our debt and be in good financial standing? And it's like, oh, no, you can't. No, we can't call in. Nobody can collect on that debt, or the whole economy would crash. And it's like, so it's not real, or like, why do you owe somebody that you can't collect? It's just, and it's like, oh, you gotta. Again, they're playing funny math games that they're trying to overcomplicate it, make it hard for regular people to understand. Generally speaking, simple-minded approach. I've learned this. Having a simple-minded approach with a high IQ, critical thinking, but simple-minded approach to a lot of things is one of the best ways to live your life, and you'll have a really good return on your decisions. If you just, keep it simple, stupid is one of the way they say it a lot, or don't overthink it, don't outsmart yourself. There's a bazillion different ways to say it. The most likely solution to the problem, or the most likely solution to the problem often is the solution to the problem. Like, all of those mindsets, if you just keep thinking that way, and challenge everything when you hear very complicated things, like, that just doesn't make sense. This is a much simpler way, and it makes a lot more sense to me. So I'm going to move in this direction. At least that's worked out for me. So good so far.
Dude,
So.
Chemistry bro, maybe we do owe the British. Maybe they're going to come calling on us for that repayment. Our bad.
Yeah, they'll go get your tea out of the bottom of the Boston Harbor.
We're going to have a new tea party. It's a technological tea party.
Bitcoin is the modern day digital tea party. If you guys haven't figured that out yet, exiting the financial system, leaving the Ponzi that they've created right now is the best way to throw it back in their face, which is why they're desperately trying to create alternatives and keep people in their system. They want people in CBDCs. They want people in USDC. They want people in the digital dollar. They don't want them in a decentralized Bitcoin global currency, because that's what they want to buy. Right. They're going to own all the Bitcoin, and then they're going to make everything else denominated based on Bitcoin value, just like we have right now with the dollar or with gold. And they're trying to keep that one going. So they want to
win again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, there's a lot of logic to that.
Not to the Drews of the world.
No.
But they're going to win again.
Yeah. Everybody here in the basement, we're going to be on the other side of that wealth gap because we understand logic and we're ahead of this curve. But a lot of the other people in the world, unfortunately, are going to get left behind. And that shows, I think it was DZ and I talking about this at one point. There's been study after study shown, if you took all the wealth in the world and redistributed it evenly, person for person, everywhere, it would not take long before the same people and the same families had the same significantly similar portion of that wealth. I think it's something like 50 to 100 years.
We had a new chat thing. You look like Elon Musk, I think. Do you bear resemblance to Elon Musk?
No. I mean, his chest is like,
I've seen TJ shirtless. He doesn't look like
Elon Musk looks like he's
freaking alien,
made in a lab or something.
Yeah.
Don't put that on me.
Don't put that evil on us.
So this is interesting. This one more thing to touch on the World Economic Forum. Obviously, we know one of the main thing people know: control the media, control the narrative, control the mindset. It's a very big thing.
Yep.
It's big part of the warfare that we've been experiencing ever since really World War II. I think I would say you've seen it really, it's been around forever, propaganda and all those sorts of things, but the media is the number one way to propagate this. Alex Gladstein, great follow, he's somewhere high up in the Human Rights Foundation. I can't remember exactly. Well, I guess I could look. What's his exact role? Chief Strategy Officer for the Human Rights Foundation. Really cool guy. Bitcoiner, obviously sees a lot of the pros of how Bitcoin would help human rights.
Right.
But Clown World, one of my favorite little things there. Bizarre claims is what they said. So this is the headline here. World Economic Forum's annual meeting has increasingly become a target of bizarre claims from a growing chorus of commentators who believe the forum involves a group of... yeah, this is the funny part, who believe the forum involves a group of elites manipulating global events to their own benefit.
Bro, they literally wrote it down and published it on PDFs. You can go get it. Like
It's like the first paragraph on their website.
It's everywhere. They don't hide any of this stuff. And like to just be told it's a bizarre belief and you're a conspiracy theorist because you're looking at these things is just probably one of the most aggravating things I'd ever imagined I would be dealing with in my life.
Yeah,
So,
it is. So out of curiosity, I clicked that link, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes to the actual CBS article here. And then I loved this one underneath. Like, hey, can I copy your homework? Sure, just change the words around a bit so nobody notices. So here we go. Associated Press, World Economic Forum, which opens Monday, is stated to take on pressing global issues. But online, it's become a target of bizarre claims from a growing chorus of people who believe it involves a group of crypto elite or a group of elites manipulating events for their own benefit. Time Magazine. As elites arrive in Davos, conspiracy theories thrive online. The event has increasingly become a target of bizarre claims.
More bizarre claims.
What narrative are they pushing?
The annual event in the Swiss ski resort town Davos has increasingly become a target of bizarre claims. And you can see the headline. I'm sure this is basically a press release they've pushed out across every single major platform.
Yep.
Obviously, they own these platforms.
Yep.
So
Soros owns AP, which is in control of 90% of media.
Associated Press is AP.
That's
so.
insane.
Yeah, 5,000 man military force guarding them. Yeah, that sounds like a friendly card game. Yeah. Where was I had another one? I thought. Okay, well,
I am so happy that this is all over the internet now,
Yeah.
though. Like, it was a little bit harder in 2018, 2016, 2015. Been watching it for as long as I can remember, and finally, it's in the feed now, which is a relief. It's a breath of fresh air, and I have hope for humanity because more are awakening from their overstep. They step too far. So
yeah, and it is. I lost the tweet now, but somebody else had pulled the screenshot. It literally says on their website, the purpose of this meeting is to meet with global and economic leaders to shape policies in the global economy moving forward. That's literally what they're doing, is trying to change the outcome in their favor. And every media piece calls out a bizarre claim when it's literally on their website.
Riddle with Pun said, like how the media says the Great Reset is a conspiracy theory, but Klaus Schwab literally wrote a book titled COVID-19, The Great Reset.
Yep. Like I said, go watch our series on the Great Reset. We pull a lot of those, there's a blog post. Like I said, they wrote it all out. It was there. Plenty of people screenshotted it. They got a ton of flack for it, and then they deleted it. Kind of renamed it, reposted it, changed the name of it, but it's still there. That's where the whole phrase, you will own nothing and be happy, like all that whole concept comes out of the World Economic Forum.
Yep.
The effective altruism comes directly from the World Economic Forum. That whole theory is from that. Somebody was asking if we know if SBF was part of it. He was a big proponent of effective altruism. They paid the SBF premium, somebody said, Nakodu. So yeah, it's not a good look. So it's going on right now. But as we said, a lot of the notables aren't there. So let's keep an eye out for when they get together. Maybe be a little less advertised event. So we were actually thinking about trying to sneak in there at one point.
Yeah. Casino Doggy said, ask yourself this. Why would a CEO from Fox News and the New York Times be there at Davos?
There you go. They're trying to get their marching orders.
That's exactly it, man.
What's the narrative? What are the key narratives we need to push this year?
Yeah.
To control humanity, basically.
I guess the reason why I rail about privacy so much is because I know that that's like a focus of what they want to destroy before they roll out like a full-on CBDC system. It's not what we have in mind. We have open communication. Like privacy is what their focus is to destroy before they'll allow this massive, rebirth of the financial system. And we can just force it. Watch what will happen to these organizations when you take the velocity of the dollar away. They will crumble.
Mm-hmm.
They will crumble quicker than you can imagine because that's all that they have to survive on. So
we'll do a few quick hits here. We didn't. I had some other stuff we could pull into, but we're getting short on time. This was just interesting. I can't remember if I've mentioned this yet or not. I know I've talked about it on some stream. This is just insane. Just in 3 years, founders to raise $25 million for a new crypto exchange, GTX. So this is Kyle Davies and Suzu. They're literally on the run right now from Interpol because they lost billions of dollars of people's funds in 3 Arrows Capital, which a lot of the people in Genesis were in 3 Arrows Capital. A lot of the people in 3 Arrows Capital is what hurt FTX, and basically Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager, a lot of them had assets in Three Arrows Capital, and that's what caused one of the dominoes. That was one of the major dominoes that caused several others to fall very quickly. So this is just, and it's an absolute joke. The reason it's GTX is it's one letter after FTX. They literally said that. It comes right after FTX. So it's like, if you guys are giving them money while they're on the run, we're clearly not learning from our mistakes. The concept's not bad, but the founders clearly too soon for me.
Dude. Suzu's sitting on. Is he sitting on his next rug? He's gonna pull. What is he sitting on?
Yeah, he's sitting on something like that. You can't pull it. You can't pull the ground out from under, but he's got something sitting there, some kind of board.
No, someone's paying for the next one.
This guy looks like a pale Bond villain.
Absolutely, like one that you don't expect to be a villain until like 3/4.
He's
of the way
double
to the
agent.
Movie. Yeah,
yeah. He's the one that you think is the ally until the very end, and all of a sudden it's like, no, I stole your girl and your. And then real quick, Lark Davis pointing out supply chain. This is a couple days. We didn't get a chance to hit it yesterday.
I love Lark.
Yeah, I like Lark too. One of my old school YouTubers I used to watch back in the day when I was first getting into crypto.
I checked this out today. It is great looking.
Yeah, ultrasound.money. Here we go. Boom. Tell me ETH isn't deflationary. Yeah, it looks good.
That.
Since the merge, we're minus 947 ETH issuance, meaning we've actually got less ETH in circulation now than we did back in when the merge happened. If we were still on the proof of work system, we would be positive 1.4 million ETH. So like, it's just insane to look at the difference. So people that, when we talk about tokenomics, this is why I'm such a huge fan of Ethereum right now. I don't think people can until we hit a bull market again, I don't think we will truly appreciate the burning mechanism that's going on right now and the tokenomics. This is why we think Ethereum in this next cycle has its best chance to get as hot, like the highest it's, or close to the highest it's ever been, and compared to Bitcoin price, as well as potentially, if it flips it in market cap, I mean, things are going to get crazy. Crypto Thorn, TJ, can we do a special where we get Ben in the basement with Nick, Drew, and BJ, all of them, smoke some green and talk, have a feel it could be some of the best content ever created. Yeah, we've got
so boring if that happens, you guys. Like, I'll be like,
obviously, you guys know Ben's been sober 15-ish years, so obviously he could not be a part of anything like that. However, we do want to get him on the basement. A lot of it's a timing issue. We got the book tour coming up. He's been having to record a lot of extra videos. And right now, with it being this show being right after the other show, it sucks a lot of the day. So we'll see. We're gonna work him into some episodes. It's a fun show, and he's already mentioned he wanted to come on once. I know he did come on once. So, but that episode, I'm sure BJ would be down. But we'll see.
I would be so boring.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I would just. There's too much going on in the world for me to, and I have too many kids. I can't move slowly. I expect tyranny and chaos at all times.
Yeah, your paranoia just starts. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. What would we say? The high basement, I guess you could call that, but not the bottom of the basement. We'll see. We'll see. Not anytime soon.
No. That might be an Elon Musk type moment where like everyone freaked out when Elon smoked a doobie on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he's like in charge of the space systems that NASA's working on. Like, this guy should probably back off.
Speaking of Joe Rogan, Enzo Mining asked earlier, when will a crypto guy go on Joe Rogan's JRE?
Yeah.
The last few conversations, not crypto guys, have been horrible. Will it lead to a Rogan pump?
Yeah, you're right. The last few guests that they've had that they talk about Bitcoin clearly didn't know it. I mean, the last one I think we talked about on here is almost sounded like a spook.
Everyone send Joe Rogan a message.
If you guys want to let's get Ben on there. If the Bit Squad sends it out there, everybody goes after and tweets and ats him, say, look, you need somebody on there that has some experience in this space.
And Ben would be entertaining too.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Ben,
yeah.
It would be an ultimate joke because that's one of Ben and I's little things. Is early on he was talking about getting on Joe Rogan, and I told him he wasn't interesting enough to get on Joe Rogan, and it's obviously it's gotten under. Well, this was back when there was like 20 or 30,000 subscribers on the channel. I was like, "There's Joe Rogan. What are you talking about?" So now it'd be the ultimate like. Boom, I told you. And so, yeah, we're really, and I would love for him to have that, I don't mind him getting wins on me every once in a while. So,
it's a goal. It's a goal of the channel.
What are you doing over there, Drew?
Are we going to raid someone?
Yeah, we are going to raid somebody. I will save this tweet for another time. Yeah, we got Hit Network Gaming on, guys. They're playing right before I walked in here. They were cranking out those Fortnite dubs. So, you know, get in there, give them some love. Hanging out with Joel and crew over there at Hit Network Gaming. Crypto Thorn, it'd be like that 70 show. Yeah, actually, I did somewhat consider trying to take this set into a circular style to create that 70s show look, but for right now this is working, and hey, it does good on a lot of different other channels. So are we ready?
1 minute.
All right, 1 minute.
That
Ben
was
should
fun.
go on both Rogan and Timecast. Yeah, I agree. Let's get it out there. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it's that far to reach. Why not?
no, we're ready now. They
Yeah,
need it. They
we're
need
ready.
us because like Enzo was saying, the people that they've had talk about Bitcoin have not ever done it well. BTC Pappy says, y'all ever play Apex? Hit me up. So, all right, here we go. We're rating Joel. We'll talk to you guys later. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Stack Bitcoin.